Yo, 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 yo. What's good, party people? I am very tired. I'm just waking up, but gotta get a stream out today, man. It's been a long week. Let's say if you haven't been paying attention, your boy has been leading in the war. We've just been kind of playing 1v1s. And you know, doing a little bit of jug here and there, upgrading bombs, the whole 9 yards, just making sure we get this lead. As far as I can remember, I never had a flag before, so I figured might as well go for it. Shout out to everyone on the leaderboard in Exile, man. Shout out to everyone on the leaderboard in Legion. You know what I'm saying? Mandatory, of course, putting in that work for their side. We got my bad, I was gonna say Lost World. Lost World has been doing pretty good. Eternal Order over here on this side. No offense to Shade right now, but say we're just gonna be talking for a minute. But say I'm about to be in the Discord too, so if anyone wants to put in their input, because again we're gonna be talking about the Battle Pass and stuff. We're gonna be talking about just different things going on. Oh, let me pull up chat. I make sure not to forget about chat because everyone got mad at me last time. Yo, what's up, Menace? What's going on, big dog? What's up, Stanley? How you guys doing? Happy Friday, man. How you guys liking the update? We're gonna get into all the details of the update and stuff very soon here. I pull that up because we're gonna talk about everything. We're gonna start doing more updates like this whenever big updates come out, just so the newer players can kind of like again see before having to play and ruin their record and stuff. Just kind of experiment, get more in-depth detail type thing. Yeah, no, it looked pretty good from everything I was reading, man. What's up, Abnormal? How you doing, big dog? Happy Friday. Man, I'm on like 2 hours of sleep, man. I had like no caffeine last night, but we got the caffeine right now. What's going on, Draken? Happy Friday, man. Happy Friday. Now be careful with that. I'll worry about that later. I'd be careful with that. I'd be kidding, man. All right, hold on. Sorry, I get really paranoid about my computer and electronics and whatnot. All right, anyways. No problem. All right, so yeah, your boy's been leading. I'd say an influence. We've been doing our thing, just trying to maintain it. We never really had a flag before, so I figured, hey, one time, go hard or go home. I needed to max out my war hero. I had about 2 or 3, I think, at the beginning of this war. I picked up like 6 so far, and I should pick up another one by the end of this day. So 7 total, hopefully. But yeah, I've been just going for influence, man. Like I said, we've been trying to get the player rating up. I picked up about 3-4 stars, I would say, in the past like month or two. Just been trying to tighten things up, get some PvP going, kind of do a nice balance of both. You know what I mean? Again, like EPICDUEL's been the only thing I've been playing, man. Like usually I have like 2 or 3 games I'm kind of like messing with at the time, but I got serious, man. Like I said, like around the time I got banned, I just like I felt like even before then, I just felt like again I wanted to start taking games more serious again. I wanted to start kind of like playing specific games and kind of just like putting more time into them because I want to really be able to stick out in the games I do play. Because again I talk about the games I play in real life and stuff like that, so it just feels weird to like say I play a game and then be like bad at it. You know what I mean? So it's like not to say I was bad at EPICDUEL or anything like that, but again I don't think I was anywhere near as like in tune with the game I am now, but just because again I've been playing so much, so it's just that simple. Like you play more, you get better at the game more, you just know more what's going on. But anyways, what's up, Mod? How you doing, big dog? Happy Friday. Yeah. So again, got the flag doing good. To my knowledge, besides James, this is the highest influence flag in the game right now. So just wanted to flex that real quick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna get into the update. Let's talk about the update first, just because I think that's new, opposed to the Battle Pass. But we will get into the Battle Pass just because again, some people have not you know, obviously some people don't know what it is, and some people probably don't have that many levels yet. So, yeah, I do want to give some incentive to grind the battle pass. You know, again, I do have some thoughts on it. But yeah, I probably should have written it down or something, just because it would have been easier. But yeah, I just decided not to do that. I don't know why. Oh, I just realized I never tweeted any of this out. I'm tripping right now. All right, hold on. I never pulled up this. Man, me and my yapping, man. I feel like when I'm tired, like I just get sidetracked so easily, man. It's really bad. I really need to I really need to eat more carrots or something. More green veggies. Something like that, man. Because yeah. All right, let's see. So I want to go over the health augments first, because I feel like a lot of people are confused on the health augments in the recent updates. So if you don't know, the battle pass came out last week. But again, we'll go over the battle pass, but just to be clear, I just want to kind of go over this real quick. So this was the introduction to the new augment system last week. So just to kind of get this clear with everyone, essentially these are the different type of augments. So this is why they have these little abbreviations next to them. You have duration augment, which is, you know, the duration of the effect of the skill, either strengthens or weaknesses of the effect accordingly. Utility augment changes one or more of the effects of the skill to another effect. Polarity augment, which changes the damage type of the skill to the opposite of its base version. Efficiency augment, which makes a skill weaker in one way and stronger in another way. And then for this release, we're starting small with the skill that all 6 classes have, and that was when they came up with the medic. So they had the EA, which would be the efficiency augment, which heals yourself or an ally over 2 turns. Cures poison, right? So this is supposed to be something, again, it makes the skill weaker in one way and stronger in the other. So you heal over time is really good, but the heal, like burst heal, is bad. Okay, so it was a good example. And then you had the UA, which is a utility augment, you know, changes one or more effects skills to another effect, which again, this one was heal yourself or an ally and remove debuffs and also cure poison. So again, they kind of nerfed them since then, but just to show it in game, I know I got this little exclamation point right now, but just show it in game, you got this. So this is the EA, which again, the efficiency augment, you heal 160 per turn and start with the initial 160. So total it's 160 times 3, right? So again, that's about 480 health if my math is correct. So you'd have 480 health total over 3 turns. If you went to this, which is the UA utility, this would be again the heal, but this also gets rid of other things like debuffs. So again, like it cleanses you. Essentially, it's like a salve, if you know what that is. Savisax heart. If I'm saying that right. I think it's like, or I think it's like I think it is Sav. We all know what I'm talking about. Savisax heart. Essentially, it cleanses. You know what I'm saying? Cleanses. It get rid of debuffs, all that good stuff. So it's like, again, if someone hits you with a malfunction, you can cleanse that. If someone hits you with a smoke screen, you can cleanse that with your heal. But again, the heal is smaller. So that's one of the things where, like you said, it's utility. It improves the skill, but it kind of gives up something up. So now what they've essentially added is coming into the new week, right? Now that we kind of understand the basis is these, right? So now we have this week, which is the skill augments for each class, which again, I know it kind of looks like a lot. But essentially, again, every class is essentially getting a different type of couple augments depending on the skills. But from what it seems, because it says I added 24, I think it's for every class there's just 4 skills, right? And it seems like for essentially every class it's just 2 skills that they're targeting, which each skill just has 1 and 1. So it probably looks scarier than what it is if you don't play the game a lot. But again, I'm here to make it look easier and help you guys understand it better. Obviously, if you do understand and you know better, you can skip this part, you know, get into the battles later. But yeah, we're gonna get into that in a sec. But I just want to again give some clarity to all this so people kind of understand. But just to give like a light kind of introduction to this, right? So you have like multi-shot again. So if we go to our guide here, right, we pull up our Twitter page just to again be thorough. We're not misrepresenting anything, right? We got this stuff right here. So PA, which would be a polarity augment, which changes the damage type of the skill to the opposite of its base version. So the physical damage, which means multi-shot was essentially energy damage on Bounty Hunter, right? Changes now to physical damage, 90% damage against 2 targets. 90% damage against 2 targets, 100% obviously against 1, and you gain 15% damage to energy. So essentially, again, you get a physical multi-shot now with damage to the energy. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool stuff, right? I think that's a pretty cool change, right? That's a pretty cool change. So again, you still have regular multi-shot, but now you have a physical one that can do damage to the energy, right? If you want it to, and still can be a multi, so you can use it in 2v2. You can use it in a jug if you want to. Jug builds can get more creative now. Again, boss builds and stuff can probably get a little more creative. Not necessarily with just that, but just, again, the aspect of all these new skills, right? So, not standing too much on one thing. Again, you got the damage to the energy on there. What you have now, the regular, which is now a UA, right? So now it'd be utility augment, changes one or more of the effects of the skill to another effect, right? Bam. So it's still the energy, still does 90% damage to targets, but now it does 20% damage to target energy as well. So one was 15% damage to energy for the physical, right? So it probably was a little bit lesser of a version of that. And now this one's a bigger version of it just because, again, it's still the regular damage type, but it's just a 5% more damage on it. But again, you still can use the regular multi-shot if you wanted to, because I'm assuming these two are probably going to be less in damage compared to the original. The same way as like the heal, if that makes sense. So now, again, you go to the massacre, it'd be the same thing. UA, bam, utility augment, change one, bam. So, again, we know it's the Fury of Blade Strikes, 100% crit chance, 15% defense ignore, damage bonus reduced by 30%. So that means, again, it's probably a weaker version of it just because, again, it's a utility augment. So I'm guessing because it ignores 15% defense. It doesn't ignore 15% defense normally. I don't know if Massacre ignores defense normally. It seems like it doesn't because this has that. So I know it has 100, or maybe it doesn't have 100%. No, I think it does ignore defense, but I don't think it has 100% crit chance. Yeah, because that's a guaranteed crit. Oh my goodness. Yeah, 100% crit chance is a guaranteed crit. So yeah, maybe that's the thing right there. But you have 30% reduced because it's 100% crit chance. I don't know if that's a good trade-off, but that's interesting though. That's actually really interesting. 100% crit chance. Oh my goodness. Anyways, but yeah, so you have the utility, 100% crit chance, kind of nice, and then you have another utility augment for it, which now reduces target's healing by 25% for 2 turns. Also kind of cool because, again, if you massacre, now you can't revy after that if it's a hard enough hit, right? Let's say they have like 50 health or whatever, or even if they wanted a regular heal, if you're far enough ahead, you can't really heal, which, I mean, even if you're far enough ahead, maybe that's not that good, but I don't know. Again, you can figure out different ways for it. Just cool options to have, right? So, yeah, kind of fast pacing along this, right? Again, you got Mercenary, same thing. UA, physical damage for the artillery strike, which the multi is, right? 85% damage to 2 targets. 20% damage to target energy. That's kind of good for 2v2, or it could be good for 1v1 now. Again, I'm kind of thinking, again, different type of mixed builds can kind of be really strong now if you really know how to, again, mix and match different skills with different stats, right? Like depending on how they work out and how they get buffed in the future, man, it's kind of looking cool, man. It's kind of looking cool. You can get some really cool builds out there. On the other aspect of it, we got a PA, which is polarity augment, changes the damage type, right? Energy damage, 85% damage against 2 targets, 20% defense ignore regularly, which is kind of cool because now you have a 20% defense ignore with an energy artillery strike now. So again, that doubles down on the fact that, let's say if I run support and technology as a 2-way, like, class or whatever for like focus, again, you could have an energy surgical strike, an energy artillery strike. You can have an energy bot, energy debuffs. Like you can go straight in on resistance and actually be a problem if people don't know how to buff right or, like, again, heal themselves right? Like that could be a cool build. That could be different, right? Now you have, again, moving on to Tech Mage, Plasma Rain, Supercharge, same thing, 50% resistance ignore, 85% damage against 2 targets, damage reduced by 20%. So I think it's the same thing, which is, EA, efficiency augment. I think it's the 50% resistance ignore for the less damage. That's kind of nasty, man. 50% resistance ignore. Sheesh. So like, again, even if you have like 400 defense, that's like that becomes 200 to that plasma rain. And if you're really like supported up, let's say you're doing 800 damage or something like that, again, that's 600 damage guaranteed on somebody with 400 damage. You know, like I don't know how much damage it can do, but I'm just saying that's just what I'm thinking off the top of my head. That's kind of cool. 50% resistance ignore is really cool. And then now you have the regular, right, or plasma rain. This is, well, now polarity augment, right? This is the physical version of it on Tech Mage, which is kind of dope. 20% defense ignore. Again, if you want to go physical, let's say if you wanted to drop the malfunction, pick up a Bloodhawk, you know what I'm saying? Go plasma rain with physical, you know, maybe throw in a something else. I don't know. I mean, again, a supercharge too. Look at this. Fire and energy charge, reduce targets defense and resistance by 30% for duration's turn. Isn't that like 3 turns? I would say, because like the duration of supercharge, I would think, right? Like how long it takes to charge back up. I don't know for sure, but that's insane, bro. 30% lifesteal on that too. That's insane, brother. What's up? What's going on, Thor? How you doing, big dog? Nah, kiss me, bro. Yo, chill. Yeah, we're trying to figure out. We're just going over the new stuff. But yeah. Just going over the new stuff real quick before we, dive back in. Again, I wanted to do a showcase. I've been meaning to do a Battle Pass showcase and kind of like show all the new stuff. So, again, people aren't kind of blindsided coming in. There's a lot of changes. So, here. I'm here to kind of express those things. But yeah. Supercharge right here, man. Fire physical charge, ignoring 30% of target's defense. That's super nasty for a polarity augment, right? Changes the damage type. And then you got the utility augment, which again fires an energy charge, reduces target's defense and resistance by 30% for duration's turn. That's insane with 30% life still. Tech Mage is going to be really fun. Like Tech Mage just became really Blaster Mage for sure. 100%. Anyways, so now we got the, the later classes, right? Cyber Hunter, adaptive offense. I think that's multi-shot for Cyber Hunter. Same thing. Primary damage type, so you can switch it up between energy or physical. So you got a utility augment and a efficiency augment. One's 20% defense reduction for 2 turns on the utility augment. So I guess that's just physical. That's physical reduction for 2 turns if you want. Or you can do 50% defense ignore period with 85% damage against 2 targets, and the damage is reduced by 20%. This sounds like the play. 50% defense ignore would be nasty with a physical. Like you might be able to run again. Physical Cyber Hunter might be a thing now. Again, look at this. You get the they don't have a polarity augment. Oh, they just have utility augments and efficiency augments. Interesting. All right, so proton cannon, fire beam based on it's all primary damage anyway. 50% crit chances. That's kind of interesting. And then you have the other one, just 200 HP gain, 200 energy gain, damage reduced by 30%. 50% crit chance seems kind of nasty, though. I don't know. You're rolling the dice. They couldn't give you 100% crit chance because that'd be nasty on the beam. But 50-50 on the crit chance for that's kind of fun. That's some fun luck builds coming up for sure. Tactical Mercenary, suppressing fire. That's the multi as well. Physical damage, energy damage. So you got a polarity augment and you got efficiency augment, right? I believe. So 50% defense ignore with the reduced 20% on suppressing fire for the physical, and then the energy is 15% defense ignore versus 2 targets. Energy suppressing fire might be kind of fire now, because again, you can kind of run energy suppressing fire and then just run barb. Same thing. Like, bro, I'm telling you, support tech might be fire, bro. Support tech might be fire. What's up, Code? Have you ever hugged your dad and say "love you, dad"? Sorry for different questions. Yeah, I mean, I used to hug my dad all the time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as we kind of growing up, like I don't really like hug my dad too much anymore. I more or less like dap him up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know where that came from. But yeah, are you all right, man? You having an okay day, man? Happy Friday. What's up, Arif? How you doing, dog? Hassan. I don't know why I said Arif. Hassan. I think I've done that. I don't know why I do that to you. But yeah. How you doing, man? All right, last one, Blood Mage. We got Fire Rain, same thing. A lot of the multis seemed like that was the main thing that got it seemed like multis and specials seemed like the main 2. So again, just to make it again easy, like I said, we kind of see all this right here. Essentially, all we can say now that we kind of been through it, was we can say every multi and every ultimate for all three classes essentially got a one of two, two utility augments. So that's why there's 24 in game. But anyways, all right, Blood Mage, again, Fire Rain, physical damage, 20% damage to target rain, 85% damage against 2 targets. So 20% damage to target energy. That's kind of nice for Blood Mage. That's actually really nice. Blood Mage is becoming more and more the energy controlling class, it really seems like. And then you got Fire Rain, same thing. So this is a polarity augment. So I think this is turning it to energy, I believe, right? Yep, energy damage, 20% defense ignore against 2 targets. So that's kind of cool too. You can go full energy on Blood Mage, which is kind of nice. Maelstrom Call, a firestorm, stilling energy equal to 20% damage inflicted. And then Maelstrom, energy, firestorm, ignoring 30% of the target's defense, reducing energy by 26% damage. Holy crap. Stealing energy equal to 26% damage is also nuts too. Yo, Blood Mage just got really better. Holy crap, brother. But yeah, these are the new skill augments. So essentially, if we go in here, we can go to the main 2 things. These will be the main ones right here. Right, so I can go over. I got this one now. This is the polarity augment, which changes the damage type. Still improves with support. It looks like it's still scaling not too bad, honestly. Compared to the regular. Oh, it's the same thing. So they didn't change it for at least this. I don't know what they did for the other ones, but yeah. So this is utility, and this one does the physical damage, 85% damage against 2 targets, 20% damage to target energy. So again, you can become more of an energy kind of mercenary too if you wanted to. But yeah, let's say I got this. I didn't put this on. We go over here. Same thing. We got surgical strike now, which is the utility augment. This is the energy airstrike that steals 50% target rage. Wait. Steals 50% target rage? Oh, dang. I don't even think I read that right. Holy crap. Steals 50% target rage is kind of nasty, brother. That's kind of nasty. You said what? Said how was the feeling when you hugged your dad? Is very lucky. I mean, it was good. Again, I love my dad, like a lot of people do. I mean, there's a lot of people that have unfortunate situations. But yeah, and I don't know. I don't know what that has to do with anything, man. I'm sorry. I don't know if you're having a rough day, but again, yeah. Anyways, okay. So on to the Battle Pass showcase. I did buy the Battle Pass, so you did not have to. The reason why I do that is usually because again, I usually try to do stuff like this, and a lot of times like I'll record it and I just don't end up putting the video out. But yeah, today I decided to get this done because again, like it's coming to the end of the war. Been going kind of crazy, man. Like I said, just really wanted to put the Balance Brigade on the map, man. You know what I'm saying? We put up a cool million. You know what I'm saying? It's this war, you know what I'm saying? It feels nice. It feels nice to be in the competitive circle for once. Usually I'm just kind of on the sidelines doing my own thing. We just be doing our own thing. But again, it feels nice to put up numbers, But anyways, so let's go to the Battle Pass showcase real quick. Essentially, the main things, obviously, you get all the good stuff. You get credits, you get variums, you get all sorts of little goodies, cosmetics, and whatnot. The main armors and the main items and stuff are right here. It is the Hefel. I don't know how to say it. Hefel. We're going to go Hefel Knight Armor. So yeah, A and B, right? Yeah, the regular A. Again, they be giving you 2 for some reason. I don't know why that is, but yeah. And then you have the CC version. So this is the regular real quick. We'll do that with the with all the heads and stuff too. I don't think there's too many of them. But yeah, this is the regular. Right? And then that would be the CC, which we'll switch to. This would be the next tier, which is pretty nice. You have like the lights and stuff, little fire bolts coming off, which is kind of cool. This one has like the mix half and half. Super dope. And this is just the regular, and you kind of get this like little cape, I think, under here. It doesn't really show with the cape right here, but you get this kind of like little little cape. Yeah, you can't really see it here, but you get a little cape here on other things, and that's it. And then you go to this, which is like engulfed. Pretty sick. Pretty sick. Pretty sick stuff. This is by far one of my favorites for sure, because obviously it's Elden Ring. But yeah, man. Elden Ring inspired, I should say. But man, really good stuff. Going back to the armor real quick. So yeah, that was an A, and then the B. What did the B with the CC? Is just no cape, essentially. Yeah, we're about to get into the cores. One sec. Let's say I was just showing off all the cosmetic stuff first. Right. So that was the armor real quick. You get these two guns. You get the regular tombs, and then you get the CC tombs. The regular tombs are pretty nice. They're a little small in my opinion. I mean, they could not be. They could be the same, but I don't know. They look a little small to me. But yeah, these are the regulars, and then you got the CC version, which the little stones. I think one of them changes, but not all of them changes. I could be wrong. Oh no, they both change. I lied. That's kind of dope. But yeah, I got that on there. Let's see. You also get, I believe, a battle gear, which is nice. The battle gear is not CC, but the battle gear is pretty cool. You get obviously the physical and the energy. They both look pretty much the same. But it's kind of nice. You get the little lightning effects when it's drawn. I do like this little design with the swords and stuff. Like, it does feel like, again, like almost like Elden Ring-esque, which is kind of nice, like Souls-like. I do like the vibe. Or Souls-inspired, I should say. And then this is the physical version. Same thing, just a little red with like the orange right there instead. Lightning bolt. You do get some swords as well. A lot of swords, honestly. They be giving a lot of swords. So you get the spear. We'll kind of just go through these really quickly. The spear's kind of nice, honestly. Kind of reminds me of like a staff and a sword almost together. But yeah, I got the spear right there. I didn't know the spear goes CC too. I forgot. That's at CC. You get these little kind of scimitar looking swords, which is kind of cool. Almost looks like a club, which is also pretty dope, not gonna lie. We got the regular swords, which is kind of like this is my favorite, honestly, the CC version of these, which is really nice. The great sword. The rest of these just like, again, PE, CC, and then yeah, then it goes to here, which is the regular sword, and the CC, which you get at the very end. But yeah, the CC version is by far my favorite. I think it looks really nice. Definitely worth getting it for cosmetic purposes if you wanted to get it. Honestly, this is the Ox too. Like, we're not done yet. It's just saying Ox, what you get, both get a red or orange, and that they're not CC, unfortunately, but are pretty nice. So yeah, that stuff's pretty cool. And then you, on top of that, get a bot, which we'll go over that with the cores here in a sec, because I definitely have some things to say about that. This is the bot, and I equipped all the new cores so people can see, and we can go over them real quick. All right, okay, cool. All right. So, starting off with the cores, essentially, let's get this straight, right? You don't get the cores until the very end, I believe. So you get the weapons and stuff. I think this is the bot. I want to say this is the bot, or maybe house items. No, I think this is the bot. I think this is around the time you get the bot. Around 38. Yeah. You get the bot before the cores. So again, keep that in mind. You get the bot before the cores, but you get the bot, you don't get the cores until 43. And then they don't finish, you don't get the last one until about 54. So again, keep that in mind. Then after that, everything else is, credits and stuff. You get to the end, you get the CC versions of the swords. So yeah, you don't get the cores till the very end. You get the bot first. So going in that kind of order. The bot, it's just a regular attack. A regular attack, which I have a huge problem with, and I'll rant about that at the end, but just a regular attack. And then again, the special on it is it locks all target skills that require energy for 2 rounds, which again sounds very cool, and again is kind of cool for some things right now. Like again, it's not entirely terrible, but it's one of those things where it's like it's nowhere near as efficient as the other bots in the game right now. And I feel like again that's kind of the problem, which again I will go over at the end, but again, that's just what it does for now. Again, it has a physical energy version, but yeah, 2 turns essentially. You cannot use any energy moves, so you can't heal, you can't use blood commander, you can't use cores. You can use cores that have 0 energy, so I can use like ultra obliteration or like revolver retribution if I wanted to, or even like certain like, let's say like infernal blessing or stuff like that. You can still use things that require 0 energy. You just can't use things that actually do require energy. So, yeah. This core, again, everything else is passive, by the way, from that point on. Everything else is just passive cores. But essentially the aux core, the gun core, and the primary core are all essentially the same. You essentially have a 75% crit chance once your HP is below 30%. So with the new update recently in recent time, this little yellow bar represents your critical health. So essentially, if you get into that critical health stance where you're kneeling, you have a 75% chance to crit, whether it be, again, if you have these cores on, whether it be the primary, whether it be the gun, which is the same thing, or it be the aux. So if I'm running a support build and I'm getting to a point where, I'm kneeling, I'm on my aux, it's the last thing I hit, I just do a regular aux blast, or even, I want to say even abilities, because it's the same thing. I can have a 75% chance to crit. And again, it's pretty true to this nature. Like, again, it's not a guaranteed crit chance every time, but I would say every other game you're going to get a crit, like for sure, if you get to that point. The only problem is that being at that kind of low health, you kind of don't really get a chance to really like the game's usually not that close, if that makes sense. Like, you're usually getting blown out, like they have a pretty big life lead, or you're just blowing them out the water. So it's like, it's not too many chances like the game's actually close if you're using these cores, if that makes sense. Because like if I'm running focus, or I'm running like straight defense or whatever, I'm 1000% running fortitude or like absolution or like something to round out all my stats 1000% over something like this. But if I'm running like a support build, or if I'm running like strength build or something, and again, like best believe, if I'm running strength build and you get hit with this basic, crit chance, that shit hurts. You're dying. Like, those are games where you 1000%, they would have had like 50 health left or whatever. That crit comes in handy because they will not have 50 health left. Like, you will pick up some games because of that core. So again, I think the core is about, again, just like it says, like, I don't think it's like super broken, but again, I'd say about 60% of the time it can help you pick up a good, like, good 7, 8, 9, 10 wins, like if you play in the long run, at least in my opinion. So yeah, those are essentially all 3 the same. And then the armor core has 2 different cores. The first one is Twilight Shield, so it's kind of in the same of these. If you get below 30% health, which is in that critical health field or whatever, you kind of get increased defense and resistance, 15%, which again, kind of good, kind of bad. I think it's good for Jug, especially when you're running Mercenary, just because there is times like, again, like I'm running like, support builds or whatever, and I feel like, you don't really have too much defense. Like, you have a little bit to kind of stand up, but kind of don't. And it'd be like a turn or two to your, Ox comes through or whatever comes through to where you can kill him. If you get put in a critical stance and that stuff comes up, it helps because it does go off of, I think it goes off of your current defense with whatever buffs are included. I think, because I don't think it's just your base stats or your base defense. I want to say it's included with like shields and stuff too. At least if the shields are maybe like passives. Like I don't know if buff defense counts, but I think like your passive shields do count with that. So at least someone could correct me if I'm wrong on that. But again, I think it's still pretty good for like Jug. In 1v1 or anything like that, I don't know. It might be good in 2v2 just because, you know, you're running like low defense builds or whatever. And there could be plenty of times where, you know, you get low health just on two people running multi, whatever the case may be. And maybe that shield like helps you like on a deflect or something. You know, maybe you could pick up a few games because of it, but I don't think it's that like insane. But it is kind of cool. It is something cool. I do like the idea of it, but I think it needs something a little extra for it to be like viable. And the next armor one, we have this one, which is like Hafel's Frenzy. What's up, Lily? How you doing, big dog? Finally going over this BP, man. It took me long enough. You know, again, I wanted to go over it earlier, but again, you know, some people said I should wait and kind of figure it out and, you know, see if I can, you know, come up with stuff and X, Y, and Z. And yeah, I pretty much came to the same conclusion I've had since the first like 3 hours of like playing it, just because again, like I was playing it so much anyway, I kind of like tested everything, but at least everything I could think of. Like obviously I'm not, you know, the best in the game. Like I can't see everything or like know everything in the game, but I just go off of my experience. And like, again, from my experience, like I feel like a few things you need to buff like right off the bat. I feel like certain things were good, but I think it would be better if these things did get buffed earlier, just because again, what's going to happen now is certain people already probably have the bot or already have certain things and they like tried it out and they just get a yuck factor from it and they just don't want to play it, you know, and then they don't touch it. And then next thing you know, the promo dies. You know, it's like, yeah, Kaiju, Zilla, like it's still pretty good right now. But again, no one touches it because it got nerfed. And then they still feel like it's trash. And it's one of those things where you do have to kind of put in the effort to use it right, you know. But yeah, again, it's like it got nerfed to the ground. And it's like, I don't know. I just feel like, again, it just sucks that getting a new promo and then it should feel better, you know what I'm saying? And then it's just kind of mid, you know what I mean, compared to everything else. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm the only one who's been feeling that way. Obviously, Azrael's Doombringer and Doom whatever was a little different. Like those were the first like kind of bots in a while that I feel like really shook up meta, you know what I'm saying? Really did change things, which is nice. But I wanted more stuff like that. So it's just like having that for such a long time, it get kind of stale. And then expecting something like that again, and then kind of getting something like this, which again, we'll get into the cons of it here in a sec. Yeah. Sheesh, man, what did I do? I might as well wrap my drink up, brother. I don't know why you keep leaking, but I don't feel like figuring it out right now, you know? I'm really just thirsty. The multi options, yeah, the multi options are dope though. Yeah, the multi options, the new skills and stuff are perfect. Like again, the A1, the skill augments and everything else, cooking. Make sure they get praise, bro. Like if you follow Night Wraith on Twitter, if you follow any of the people in the Discord that be helping out with the balance and stuff, let them know, hey man, the augments are great. Keep heading in that direction, man. Like the options are just insane. And again, even if certain things are bad, you can tweak them later. It's just nice to have options and variety. You know, different things actually might become good now just because there is other options that are viable. You know what I mean? In certain cases. So again, that's great. I could talk about that all day. But I don't want to get into that right now. I don't want to get into back into that because again, I literally talk about all that stuff all day. Like that stuff to me is a lot of the reasons why I play EPICDUEL and why I enjoy the PvPs, because the options. I do like being able to experiment and do weird stuff. So I do have a lot of stuff to do later that I'm excited for, you know what I mean? But yeah. But anyways, yes. That was the last core. Hafel's Frenzy, and yeah, those are essentially all the cores. That's essentially the battle pass. Obviously, everything else, you know, you get through there. I'm gonna go battle the city guard real quick so you guys can see the whatchamacallit, the animations and stuff like that. And we'll get into questions here in a sec here. I don't want to do too much battling because like I said, I'm insanely tired today, dude. Like I've literally like had like 2 hours of sleep and I am like hanging on by a thread right now. So it's like I don't want to put too much of my brain into 1v1ing right now. I mainly just want to finish out the battle, or not the battle pass, the war, and then kind of get everyone's perspective if you'd like to share it, you know, just from what they're kind of going through with the different things or what they think is good right now, whatever the case may be. But yeah, we're gonna kind of show these. Oh, let's try and get some new skills in here too, I guess. So just do something stupid. We'll put that in there. We'll do oof. Should I do the energy one? I wonder if this is actually going to be a different. It probably isn't a different animation compared. This is probably a different animation though. That's probably not a different animation. This is probably. I wonder if it actually. This might be surgical. I don't know. This would be interesting. All right, I will do that. I was jugging with this earlier. All right. So as you can see, the Battle Pass stuff doesn't look too shabby this time. Definitely worth getting, I would think. 1000%. If you wanted to play an alt and pick this up on an alt, this would be 1000% a set to get. This is the basic of the bot. It's very beautiful stuff, man. That's the sad part about it. It's like, it's really cool. It's really cool stuff, but you just can't really like. It's hard to make viable when it's just a regular bot thing. Which again, I'll get into my little rant here in a sec. But yeah, this is the Ox. I kind of like the 4-shot, but kind of don't at the same time. Maybe I'm just a biased person for 1-shots, but I like the 1-shots. The gun is really cool. It's like a flashbang type thing. Bow. Isn't that dope? Literally just like solar flare head ass. All right, and then I wonder. So this is energy now. Ooh, it's okay. So it's just blue smoke. Okay, that's kind of cool. Interesting. All right, here I'll use the bot super real quick, and then I'll use the surgical. I can't use this against NPCs. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. Well, I guess I'll make something for this build or whatever. You get see how not good it is. Actually, it might actually be a little different now because of the skill augments. So how's this look? Oh, it's just called in. It's just red beam. That's actually kind of cool, man. It's so cool seeing different things. Like seeing the animation you've been seeing for like so long changed is really dope. Like I remember when he first kind of came out with the new stuff, like the other surgical strike or whatever for physical and stuff like that. But yeah. Anyways, all right. That was kind of dope. Liked all that stuff. I'm just gonna go into a 1v1. I don't really care about my percentage today. Well, I can't type. I cannot type. It's tough. Yeah, my brain is like cooked right now. Like I need to sleep before I really dive into everything because I already know I'm not going to be able to make anything right now. But yeah, that's the bot special, and essentially now, which also by the way, it is healable. So again, it's a debuff. So if I have the utility augment for health on, I can just cleanse this and this be done. By the way, which I guess you can't really do because it costs energy, but. Yeah, so like I guess the best way to do it would be a salt bot then. If you have a salt bot cleanses this, but just keep that in mind. It can be cleansed. I watched somebody cleanse it before, but I think it was with that. But anyways. Yeah. I like that. That's really interesting. But yeah. Let me get my rant out the way, man. Give some shout outs to the war dog. I mean, I guess I can give shout outs now, man. I want to give shout out to again, obviously the main Discord server, you know what I'm saying? Everyone knows who they are in there. The DH boys, you know what I'm saying? They've been really pushing me. You know, I know we be chatting our shit in the chat in general, you know, and other people be you know, thinking we're a little serious or whatever sometimes, but we just be doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? We all just be having fun. You know, a lot of us are just competitive and we just be, you know, again, talking our shit, man. It's just how we like to, you know, play the game. And again, I appreciate them for, you know, again, keeping me on my P's and Q's. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought I was retired, but, you know, the competitive fire comes back and next thing you know, you're putting up numbers. You know what I mean? And I think I'm excited. You know, again, it's been a while since I've like actually been having fun playing the game again. And again, I think that's a big aspect for me. Like the talking shit. I don't know why. Maybe I'm toxic. Anyways. But ooh, look at the blue surgical. That's cool. Ooh, that's really cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Which also why this bot is bad. Look at that. That's so garbage, bro. Isn't that so garbage? That's 320 with double strike. Tell me why Azrael's bot with the 15% damage ignore or defense ignore is doing the same thing by itself, just regular hit. And then you do double strike, it's probably doing another like 100 damage. That's what I'm saying. Just that, man. Anyways. But yeah, shout out to the DH boys, man. Shout out to Mir. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the boy Shawnee. You know what I'm saying? Who else? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, shout out to the girly. The girly's been holding it down. She's been doing a lot better. Which obviously you gotta give her some props too, man. She's been going through it. She's been having a rough week. You know, she's been busting her ass at work and then her car broke down and she's been kind of, you know, dealing with different things, you know, going through different parts in her life and stuff like that. So, yeah, and without getting into too much detail, let's, you know, again, just say she's been going through it. But she's doing well now. She's going through it, or not going through it. She's doing better. Dang, I keep repeating the same thing. Yeah, she's feeling better now. We're doing better now. We're back on the regular, you know what I'm saying, content grind, putting up more videos and stuff like that. War's about to end, which is awesome. Oh, man. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, we got to shout out. Okay. Yeah. Obviously the other content crew too. You know, shout out John, shout out Eumenis, shout out Paige. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Imperial Bloody. You know what I'm saying? Man's been doing his thing. And all the other content creators out there. You know what I'm saying? Hamzino. You know what I mean? Wish he put out more videos. But yeah, man. Again, shout out to the crew. You know, EPICDUEL's really been doing this thing. Again, it's August, and I feel like EPICDUEL is usually not popping as much. You know, so it's nice to see other people obviously taking the incentive to, again, like do their part as well. You know, again, like I've always said beforehand, you know, not to say that, you know, it was just me, but, you know, like we've all kind of said beforehand, you know, the community has to kind of do its part too. You know, we have to make sure that we're, again, playing the game, having fun, like giving our honest feedback, and again, staying kind of composed when we feel like, you know, emotional or different things are going on, just because, you know, we have to understand, you know, they're people too, right? Like Night Wraith and them are trying their best. And, you know, again, even in the beginning, you know, we'll get into my little critique here, but, you know, in the beginning when the Battle Pass first came out, you know, again, I had choice words. Again, not that I was like talking anything crazy or anything, but again, I will say I didn't really give, you know, enough time for it to have a fair shake, right? You know, I think I was more, again, compassionate and just kind of fed up with the fact that I feel like a lot of times, you know, again, we get amazing artwork that, you know, Akka or Night Wraith kind of puts up and draws their heart out into. And then it's like we can't even use it, you know, a couple weeks later because it's just not good, or even on release, it's just like not good. You know, when it's broken, you have other people complain on the other side of the coin, where, again, obviously people like me who get the Battle Pass aren't going to complain, but people who don't get the Battle Pass are going to complain because they feel like it's broken and they just get free wins. So it's like trying to find a balance between that is, again, probably damn near impossible or next to impossible. But yeah, to me, it's just like, it sucks, you know, getting the Battle Pass, feeling like, again, like I want to review it, I want to talk about it, I want to tell people I'm excited to play it and stuff like that. But again, like I'm literally just getting smacked the whole time. I'm coming up with different builds, I'm trying focus, I'm trying outside of the box, I'm trying support, I'm trying strength, I'm trying whatever, and I'm just getting lit up over and over and over again. I'm asking everyone who got it too, just like me, right? It wasn't just me. right? I'm asking other people who also had the bot too, like, bro, is there any build you can think of, anything you can come up with? No, man, bot's trash. No, man, bot's trash. Nah, man, bot's trash. Like, and again, it's like when you hear the same thing over and over and over again, it's like you try to think, okay, well, I agree. Like from my experience, like I agree with that. So, you know, I think it must be that. So it's like it's so clear to me that I've like played with it, but opposed to the people that haven't played with it yet, you know, they're gonna say obviously give it a chance or give it a try, like give it some time, and that's what kind of happened, and that's where we're kind of at right now, you know. Again, and like I said, I will say first to admit that, you know, again, I will say I was surprised by you know, different things that have came out so far. But obviously I think it's still mid at best. Like I don't think it's terrible, but yeah. Yeah, I usually buy Battle Pass if I profit VAR from it, but this one may be an exception. Yes, I will get into that too. So yeah, now that we kind of went over the aspects of the Battle Pass and like kind of included, I also want to kind of talk about the downsides of it, pros and cons type of thing. So yeah, so main thing with the Battle Pass, obviously with all the cores and stuff, all the cores and stuff are great and everything's thought outside the box. I do like the premise of like the low health kind of like boost to, you know, crit or boost to stats type of aspect. I just think it needs to be like adjusted a little more. It's kind of hard because again, like I feel like for certain things like this that are creative, you kind of really need to have testers that can actually like play and get it down to a T to where the details can be meshed right, and then you can kind of have it implemented so that way it actually can be usable and actually be viable but not broken, right? But obviously they don't have the resources for that. Like I think they do have testers, but obviously they're not like testing the actual product. They're kind of just probably saying what they think is good or coming up with different ideas, and Night Race probably throwing them in there and, you know, doing his best, right? So to me, it just feels like, again, it kind of sucks, but you have to, again, accept what we have and kind of enjoy what we got, right? So with that being said, right, I'd give the Battle Pass a solid, probably 7.5 out of 10. And again, main thing I would say is artistic wise, because my three things I would say, again, artistic wise, I think the Battle Pass nailed it. All the art is really awesome. Even looking at my character right now, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, dude, like my guy looks like a sick final boss, which is insane, super cool, always fun. I think the creativity is there when it comes to the Battle Pass cores, which is kind of nice. And with the new augment system, it's just like right timing. You know, again, I wish the Battle Pass released this week instead of last week, just because I think it would have been better to kind of have, again, the cores with the augments at the same time instead of kind of already having a week of being burnt out from the cores and then now having new augments to kind of test with the cores again. But obviously you can't be perfect, right? So, and obviously you probably don't want to release too much in the system and then break it. So obviously, again, you know, like I said, pros and cons, but yeah. But again, with those things being said, I do think the cons are essentially what I've been hearing is, yeah, it sucks that the Varium is not the same like give back. It used to be if you buy the Varium pass or if you were, you know, again, I think like a free to play player and you just bought the regular version. And then like, because yeah, you could buy the elite, I think there's like an elite pass and then you could buy a couple tiers or whatever. Then you can just buy the base pass. And I think you would make enough to where, again, you could pay for the battle pass, which again, I think that's how it should be. I think it should be if you max out the battle pass, you buy the battle pass and then you max it out, you should be able to get those variant back. Because again, it's like, I know they think of it as like, oh, we're losing money because now you don't have to buy Varium, right? But in reality, it's like you're losing players because now it's like, I'm not even going to spend money in the Varium in the first place to buy the battle pass, which again, I mean, they have to kind of accept what it is. Like there is underground, you know, stuff going on or whatever. It's where, again, it's like, hey, you know, they take a lot of these things that like these battle passes that become rare at certain times, or again, you can't get to a certain year later, right? And they, you know, market it off and do things certain to it, which adds value to it. But now it's like, again, those people aren't going to be invested if they feel like they're losing money just by, again, you know, buying it and then not getting the same variant back. So I think that's a problem, A. B, again, I think the cores and stuff probably should be a little more tested. Like I said, like I think it's a cool concept, but they probably just need to have a different number. Maybe have a little bit higher of a threshold, or maybe have a little bit of like 100% crit chance. Like, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a tester, so I don't know specifically, but right now they just feel kind of lackluster to use over like stats, because stats feel important as ever right now. And even in something like this now with new skills and augments, like again, stats are going to feel as important as ever. So it's kind of hard to justify losing, you know, 4 or 5 stat points I would get from, you know, fortitude on my gun for just a crit chance that may or may not happen, right? Like, and I could blow this guy out of the water and not even get to a point where I am at a critical stage. So then it's like the stats would have been better in those situations. But yeah, that's just my opinion. And then as far as again the frenzy and stuff go, which is kind of cool. I don't think I actually like went over this in detail. Essentially, it converts 5% of outgoing damage to energy if it is over 50. So essentially, if I do 500 damage, right, it's over 50 damage. So obviously, the effect triggers, and it'll be 5% of that outgoing damage, which I think would be 25, right? 25 energy would be given back to my pool on top of other effects. So yeah, I think Mercenary on top of that also has the effects where it gains energy for attacks or whatever naturally. So like that and that would stack. So over time, if you're like aggressive character, you like to again like kind of go back to back and fighting, like this would be kind of a good character or a good passive for you. I think it's really going to like Blood Mage and like I would say attack Mercenary. But yeah, just throwing that out there. And again, core's okay, like it's not super busted. It's pretty interesting and you can definitely test some cool things with it, but I don't think it's like groundbreaking, if that makes sense. So yeah. And then again, the bot, like I said, the bot, man, I know I've ranted about this a lot. If you see me in Discord, if you see me on Twitter or whatever, essentially I just think the bot needs one of two things. It needs rather a 15% defense ignore on the primary, just because again, the special can be good and all, but it's not reusable. If you use it once and they outplay around it, then you're screwed, because if I'm running a bot that again does a bunch of damage and I just have regular on the bot versus like another high defense person, you're gonna lose every single time if that person's running Azrael's Doom Letter or again like Cyber Shark or any sort of like 15% defense debuff or lifesteal debuff. Like you're getting creamed like every single time. Or even like Yeti with a passive on, like again, you're just getting out damage purely. And so it's like, it just sucks because like you can't really compete with that aspect. Like again, if I can try and go for the 2 turns or whatever and try and like freeze up the energy, which works sometimes, I just, yeah, it's not something that really turns into like a not necessarily a guaranteed kill, but like an easy way to, it doesn't make it easy to get a kill. You know what I mean? Which I think the ability should be that, like especially when it's like the star of the, or at least should be the star of the battle pass, in my opinion. But yeah, I think it rather means 15% defense on the primary bot attack, or if they wanted to stretch this ability to 3 turns, which I think that might sound broken, or make it reusable, I think that could work too. It'd probably make it a lot more busted than just putting 15% on this. But yeah, if they wanted to be like, oh, you know, we wanted to try something different, or we wanted to do something out the box, whatever, then yeah, 1000% don't do anything to this thing, put 3 turns on this, and that would be very, like, again, you'd have to be very planned and calculated, but again, it would really work. I don't think it'd be super busted either, as long as you were like, you see the bot and you kind of prepare for it. But I could be wrong. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Man, I am extremely tired. So yeah, man, like I said, I've been putting up these numbers all week, dog. It's been a long week and a half of grinding, man. I appreciate everyone who's been supporting me, who's been like watching the grind and watching this kind of unfold. You know, again, like I started doing 100K off the bat. I did that in the first day. You know what I'm saying? Literally was like, okay, brother, you know, because again, I did that with the 300 jug stream. I don't know, man. It feels like it was such a while ago, man. The 300 win jug stream where I did that all live was this war. So I started the war with that, and then from then I just literally started playing 1v1s. I was on the 1v1 leaderboard for probably like 4 or 5 days in a row. I was putting up like 50 to like 75 wins, doing my thing, putting up like maybe like 50 jug wins, doing my thing, just upgrading moms. And then again, I would see this man Code that was just like doing crazy. And his like group of friends, you know, you had Cervera, you had King of Death. You know, it just felt like, again, they were coming for me, man. I felt like they were coming for me. And I just felt like every day I would wake up and just, I feel like right when I felt like I was safe, I was not safe. And I had to start playing more again. You know, I had to start busting some moves and just being good again. So yeah, man, it's just like one of those things where you unnoticeably, like, you know, I think I started this war with like 300, 400. I mean, well, obviously if I have that amount, right? Like, so I probably had to have like 400,000 something maybe like 450,000 if I'm doing my math. No, 350,000. I don't know if I'm doing my math right, but yeah, like I said, I'm a little tired. But anyways, about to be at 1 million influence, man. We're at 1 million influence in the war right here. Big Bounce Brigade number 3, dog. Doing the damn thing. You know what I'm saying? And again, this is our faction, by the way. Our faction is very inactive. So again, most of our people at the bottom really have not played. Synthesis is very faithful. He's been doing his thing. Last Face, I think he's been starting to come back, which is nasty. We like that. Eslam Rose logged in today. Hey, that man had, I seen the other day, he had like no, he was missing for a minute, but yeah, no, he's back. That's lit. Romanian Hunter's been doing his thing. Shade's been doing his thing. You know, all the officers have been doing this thing, man. I gotta shout out all of them, bro. Shout out to all my officers for real, bro. Like, they've really been doing their thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Mateo Fade, Sorch, Waffle, Kartofa, you know, Dragon School, Obscurity, Zay. You know, I love you guys, man. You guys really do make it a lot easier to be a leader. I don't have to worry about you guys. I don't have to, you know, expect you guys to do anything. You guys just hold up the integrity of the Balance Brigade, and that's all that matters to me, you know. I just want you guys to enjoy yourself, have fun. If you retire here, you retire here, but do influence and all that good stuff. But yeah, man. Appreciate you guys so much, man. Sorry for the short stream today. We're going to be streaming a lot this weekend, getting into these builds and stuff. I'm literally not going to get into any battles until I stream again. I'm literally going to load up just like this again because, again, I really want to go over my kind of like crazy brain plans and stuff with you guys so you guys can kind of, again, level things out. Like, I want to be able to create new waves of builds for people, you know, going forward. Like I said, these things are right up my alley, and I really can get as creative as possible. So that's gonna be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. But I gotta get some sleep here, man. Like I gotta get some extra sleep, dog. These nights are really catching up with me. Hopefully, be off those soon. You know what I'm saying? But again, got duty calls. Got to do what we got to do until then. But I appreciate you guys so much, man. Shout out to your Menace for popping up. One of the coolest founder armors in the game, dude. I'm so jealous. If there's ever a point where you could like switch founder for founder, I would switch with Menace first. 1000%. Maybe we could do that. Maybe I'll ask Night Wraith if we could do that. Like do a slot for that or something. Like, yo, switch founder for founder. That'd be dope. Anyways, I will catch you guys in the next stream, man. I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Appreciate you guys for learning something if you haven't. Again, you know, these things are getting deep, man. Utilities are getting nice, and the skill augments are getting amazing. You know, remember to enjoy yourself, enjoy your Friday, rest up, eat well, drink water. If you have not been enjoying yourself, don't forget to enjoy yourself and have an aggressively amazing day as always. And I will see you guys in the next one, bro.